Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be creating an image with a photograph and text together using Pixlr. So before we start, let's just kind of go over some of the requirements. So it could be one word or it could be a phrase, but you don't want to make it too complicated. Uh, and you want to make sure you pair an image with that word. So I decided to use the word shark and to have a photo of a shark um, with that text. So I went ahead and I did my Bing search and I picked out a photo and I have it ready to go to use. So I could copy and paste that photo into Pixlr. And I'm going to start my project. So we're going to get rid of this window and we're going to start all over again with Pixlr. Pixlr.com. We want to make sure that we're using Pixlr E. And we're going to go to create new. And when you click on that, you have a couple preset options. You could use, if you want a longer photo, a landscape, you could use this web option. Or if you want something more square where you have a couple words placed on top of one another, then you might want to use the square. So I'm going to click on web and click create. And it's going to pop up with an image with a checkerboard background. So that means that I have to start adding new layers and details to add on to this image. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my color by going down on my toolbox to these two circles. And I'm going to click on the top circle, and it gives you an option of colors. So you could go through the spectrum scale right here and get different colors, and then you could get shades of that color or tints of that color or just different versions of the color. But since I'm going to just use black and it's already preset down here, I'm just going to click on that. For any color, it's going to be in your bottom left-hand corner. And if you need white, you just go up to the top left-hand corner. So I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to go over to my toolbox and click on this tool right here that's below the eraser tool. It is called the fill tool. And I'm going to click anywhere on this image, and it's just going to fill in that area with that color that you chose from down here. So I have it filled in with black. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my text. And by doing that, I'm going to go over to this tool right here. It says text. It has a T on it. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click on add text. And this window is going to pop up, and you could type in your word right here. Since I'm doing the word shark and I want to make it capitalized, I'll type that in. Now, after you do that, you want to change the color because it's going to have the same color as your background. So you go up to here, to the top here, and choose a different color. And it doesn't really matter what color you choose, but we're just going to do white for the sake of it. And click OK so I can see it. And then you're going to choose the font. Now, you probably want to use a font that's really bold, and so this way you can see most of that image coming through, because if you choose something too thin, nothing's really you're not gonna really see anything. So I'm gonna scroll down to, I picked out a font for this, and it's called Malto, I believe. It's all alphabetical order here. Malto. Oh, no, it's Molat. There we go. But I gotta make this a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna go up to here to size, and I'm gonna click on this scale and make it bigger. Now you don't wanna make it too big, just big enough so that you can see it, not too small, because you're gonna do another step to resize it right now. But we're gonna move this, with your mouse, you're gonna move this to the center. And then you're going to do this very important step. A lot of students miss this step. And without this step, you can't really resize this. You're just kind of stuck with it. So you're going to go to image, layer. You're going to go to layer. And you're going to go to rasterize text element. I'm going to click on that. And after that, you're going to go to edit and go to free transform. And once you go to free transform, you could actually really resize this to fill in the whole image space. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can really see what I'm doing. I'm going to drag this down with my mouse, and I'm going to resize it to the way I would like it. All right. Okay, so that's about good enough, I think. Move it over a little bit more. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm going to click on this gray area and click yes. And I'm going to right click on the top layer and click merge down. So now it's just one complete image. And I'm going to add in a new layer with the shark image. So I'm going to go to my tab with the shark, and I'm going to right click on that and click on copy image address. I'm going to go back to my editor tab, and I'm going to go to layer, and I'm going to add URL as layer. I'm going to paste that right into there and click load. And I'm going to have my image pop up, and my shark is right on the bottom there. And you can see this on your layers window. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these three dots next to my shark layer. And I'm going to bring down the transparency so I can see both the image of the shark and the text. I'm going to cancel that. And then what I'm going to do with this highlighted, I'm going to go to edit, free transform, and I'm going to resize this image so most of it fills into this text. Like that. Okay. So once I have that done, I'm going to click on that gray area again to accept the changes. Oh, it's not doing that. So I'm going to proceed to go back to, oh, there it goes. Yes. I'm going to proceed to go back to those three dots. I'm going to bring up the transparency. A lot of students don't do that step. They forget that step, and then they create a soft looking image, but they really don't want that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck this checkbox right here. I'm going to make the shark disappear for a second because we don't need him. And I'm going to click on the wand tool in the upper part of the toolbox. And I'm going to click anywhere in this black background right here. And whoops, I missed a step. I'm going to do Control D. We have to make sure that the shark layer, the word shark, has to be selected before I do that. And with the magic wand tool, there we go. Yeah. So if you do it on this layer, then you end up selecting everything but that image. Okay, so make sure you're working on the right layer and make sure it's highlighted. So make sure on this step that the bottom layer is highlighted. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have my background selected. I also want to add on to that selection with the A and R. There's gaps in the lettering, or I'm sorry, in the parts of the letter. I'm going to press Shift and click on those gaps. So anytime that you use a word with like an E or a P and it has these little holes in it, you have to select those too. Otherwise, they're not going to show through when you start bringing in the other image. So I have both of those selected, and I'm going to recheck the shark image box so that the shark's there. And then I'm also going to make sure I'm clicking on the shark image, make sure it's highlighted. And I'm going to click on the eraser tool. And I am going to start erasing the image. Now I'm using a very small brush size, so I want to adjust that. I'm going to go up here, make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to decrease the softness of it because we don't need that. And there we go, like that. That's so much easier. And after this, folks, you're pretty much done. You probably want to hit Control D to deselect and right click on your mouse on the top layer and just click merge down. And voila, you have a photo and text. And then you just go and proceed to save that image by clicking save and then downloading it to your Chromebook. So there you have it. Thanks for watching and good luck on your own project.